Show that the logistic function f of x equals 1 over 1 plus e to the negative x has two different asymptotes. So what we're going to do is we're going to investigate the limits as x approaches negative infinity and x approaches positive infinity. Excuse me. In our first limit, we're going to let x approach negative infinity. Recall from the previous video that as x approaches negative infinity, for e to the negative x, you're going to get a positive infinity. The graph heads up into the positive y's as you let x get more and more negative. If the denominator gets larger and larger, the overall fraction value gets smaller and smaller. Out here on the left end of the graph, you can tell that there's a horizontal asymptote along the x-axis, and that's where y is 0. Investigating the far right side, we take the same limit value, the function, and we're going to let x approach positive infinity. For the function e to the negative x, as your x values continually get larger, e to the negative x approaches 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. And so, depending on which way your x values go, will determine the function value on the far left and right sides. There are times where we have what are called oblique or slant asymptotes, and those can occur when the numerator has a degree 1 larger than the denominator. We're going to do both of these limits, same function, but we're going to let the limit of x approach negative infinity on the first limit, x approach positive infinity on the second limit. Let's look at this function. It's a rational function, but let's long divide the denominator into the numerator. X plus 1 divided into 2x squared minus 4x. For long division, you take the first term underneath, which is 2x squared, and you divide it by the first term outside, 1x. 2x squared divided by x is 2x. 2x times both terms of the divisor is 2x squared plus 2x. Be sure to subtract each term. If you're doing it right, this first column will subtract out to 0. The second column, negative 4 minus 2, that's a total of negative 6x. Start the process over. Negative 6x divided by 1x is negative 6. Negative 6 times your divisor is negative 6x minus 6. When you subtract a negative, that's the same as adding. Change your signs. This column adds up to 0, and that tells us we're on the right track. This term had no other term to add. We have a remainder of 6. Therefore, this rational function can be written as 2x minus 6 plus 6 over x plus 1. Quotient plus remainder over divisor. Our quotient gives you the linear function y equals 2x minus 6. Let's look at the graph to the right. Y equals 2x minus 6 is the slant or oblique asymptote for this function. Now there's also a vertical asymptote at negative 1 because our denominator is 0 when x is negative 1. For limits that approach negative and positive infinity, we don't worry about the middle stuff too much. We want to know what happens out here on the far right and left ends. Our first limit, when x goes to negative infinity, as our x values get more and more negative, our function values get more and more negative also. On the right side, we have the limit of the same function, but we're going to let the x values get really large. And you can tell the farther right or deeper into the positives the x goes, the higher your function values get. And so we have two limits depending on which end you let x travel. show that the trigonometric function y equals arctangent of x has two different asymptotes. First, we need to recall what the graph of arctangent x looks like. I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and if you didn't have a graphing calculator, but you did have some memories of your trig class, you can investigate a cycle of the tangent graph, y equals tangent of x, and recall its vertical asymptotes. On the unit circle, tangent is the y-coordinate divided by the x-coordinate at each angle. There are times when that's undefined, specifically at the top of your unit circle at pi over 2, you have the ordered pair 0, 1. And if you divide 1 by 0, it's undefined. That creates a vertical asymptote in the graph. If you go clockwise 90 degrees on your unit circle, you're going to land at negative pi over 2. At that location, you're at the point 0, negative 1. Negative 1 divided by 0 is also undefined, creating a vertical asymptote. In fact, for tangent, you'll have a vertical asymptote at all odd pi over 2's. Going back to our problem, when we use an inverse function, arctangent, its inverse function is tangent. That's because they're inverses of one another. But you can set your limit up this way to try to figure out the other. Because of the inverse, what does x approach in the tangent graph to get infinitely or very negative function values? Well, let's follow our graph. If we want the y values to get more and more negative, we got to get closer and closer to that vertical asymptote, negative pi over 2. If we want our tangent values to get infinitely large, then we need to follow it along and approach pi over 2. Let's go back up and look at our arctangent now. If you take this particular cycle of tangent and you flip it towards you top to bottom, and then you turn your graph 90 degrees counterclockwise, this is where you produce a cycle for your arctangent graph. Let's go back up. Now that we've inverted the graph of tangent for one cycle so that it's a function and it's 1 to 1, we have this particular looking graph. Well, out here on the far left end, we have our vertical asymptote from tangent. On the far right end, we have a horizontal asymptote at positive pi over 2.